The Cowichan Valley is British Columbia's newest subgeographical indication, consisting of Canada's only cool Mediterranean maritime climate.
This unique growing area is arguably one of the most challenging in the world, pushing the boundaries of where grape growing is still possible.
The damp, cool climate brings with it all sorts of disease pressure, and the region produces only about 1,000-degree days during the season, making ripening extremely difficult for many grape varieties.
On our latest AdVINEture, we visited 4 wineries in the Cowichan Valley who are proving that this demanding growing area is capable of producing very good wine.
Water is going to be the most precious thing that you can possibly think of in the future, and we believe that.
Well, we did notice at the beginning in like 88, 89, there was very definite delineation markers from the seasons. So you had fall, you had winter, you had spring, you had summer, and you could pretty much count on that, and you knew when the rains were going to come and when your last frost was. And then in the mid-90s, that kind of got blurred. And we started getting spring frosts that we never had before. We're starting to get damage, up to 30% or so on Pinot Noir, and that's why we came up with the tenting.
My favorite things about Jackson Family Wines is how forward-thinking and visionary they are from the top down. So Jess Jackson, the late patriarch of the company, I believe it was in the 80s, he purchased a furniture manufacturing company in France. I believe this is the story, because only French citizens, or only stave mills for barrels and for furniture are allowed to bid on French oak, and all the forests are owned by the French government, I believe. So anyway, the result is that they are the only non-French citizen to be able to purchase French oak, and that the government immediately closed that loophole after they realized what Jess had done. Right. So the company bids on trees, has them milled into staves in France, palletized, sent to Missouri where they have a barrel manufacturer, and I believe they supply a lot of the whiskey, the bourbon industry as well. So they make their own, they have their own cooperage. Essentially, so they supply Kendall Jackson, La Crema, and all their other wineries as well. So, as we spoke about with us not using a lot of new oak, we get to buy them from La Crema.
Core of our program that doesn't change too much: the Chambouillet, the Rosé, the Pinot Gris, Allegro, and Pinot Noir. We keep playing with things, right? I mean, we always come up with something new every couple of years, and then something else will fade away and shift. So.
A lot of our vineyard is really old. All this stuff is all, about 25, 30 years old. So it's into its senior years, let's say, and the production has started to wane. In this environment, plants really don't have a long life like they do in a really dry climate.
Right, yeah.
So we've started to see some things that you only see in older vineyards where it's a moist climate. Great challenge comes great reward, right? And I think that's what's interesting. I think we are starting to see some the climate is changing. We've seen that here. You see cedar groves that are dying, and you see different plants that are starting to establish. I think that grape growing is going to get better.
Heat unit profile for this area is 900 to 1400, which is the Fino family.
But it's minuscule. I mean, God, that's, even, Oregon, which the Willamette they call cool climate, I'll bet you that's for sure over 2,000. What about the northern part of the Okanagan?
Well, that's
1800?
no, it's within the same profile. And even if you go up to Kamloops area, but it's not just how many heat units you get, it's when you get them. And what else happens to the weather when you haven't got heat units. We do 100% mellow all the time because we have the low pH. And then we barrel age it sous vide for 12 months, and it produces a wonderfully complex, rich wine.